Fever dog! Woo! Woo! Fever! Good dub. Ugly, but we found a way to win. Woo.
Hey, Steph. This question is for you. I just wanted to talk about what you saw out of your team that was different from Tuesday. Obviously, it's a quick turn, but how did you feel like your adjustments paid off on the court?
I felt like our defensive energy, physicality, disruptiveness was better. We made it more difficult for them, moving the ball around the perimeter. We executed better in our ball screen defense. Felt like we had each other's back a little bit more.
The Indiana Fever didn't just beat the dream, they rewrote the script in bold. Just 2 days after a crushing 91-90 home loss to Atlanta, Caitlin Clark and the Fever stormed into their house and flipped the narrative completely. Outscored in the paint in Game 1? Not this time. They bulldozed the Dream 46-20 inside. Brittney Griner held to just 5 points before fouling out. That's not revenge, that's domination. Postgame, head coach Stephanie White was clear. We were more disruptive, more physical, and we had each other's backs. This wasn't just a turnaround, it was a statement. The same team that got beat down at home didn't just win.
Getting in foul trouble early, I think, messed up her rhythm, and she didn't really have her legs, because it certainly was one of the worst performances of Clark's career from a production standpoint offensively. First time in her career she didn't hit a three. So nothing to write home about from Cece. But that's okay, right? Even when, that's happening, game's on the line, she's got the basketball. She's got the basketball, manipulates the defense, gets it to AB, who puts it away.
Shout out to Natasha Howard, I will say. You didn't have a good game last game. You bounced back today. If I'm the Atlanta Dream coach, I'm going into tonight with a game plan. Folks, make Natasha Howard beat us. Don't let Caitlin Clark beat us. Don't let Kelsey Mitchell beat us. Don't let Aaliyah Boston beat us. Make Natasha Howard beat us. And Natasha Howard, she took on that challenge and she came through. Let's just think back a year ago. Who's that going to be? Katie Lou? Nope. Erica Wheeler? Nope. Nalissa Smith, you make me laugh.
They bullied the bullies. And we're going to break down how they did it, including a firestorm moment between Clark and Ryan Howard that's already viral. If you're proud of this team, drop a fire fever in the comments. Let's rewind. 2 days earlier, the Fever looked flat, frustrated, and frankly overpowered. They let Griner score 21 and allowed Atlanta to live at the free throw line, shooting 32 attempts to Indiana's 26, and the Fever missed 10 of theirs. The result? A loss that felt like a wake-up call. But here's what most people didn't realize. The Fever were learning, watching, adjusting. Coach White admitted they didn't match up well, but instead of folding, they started plotting. "It's great for our team," White said post-loss. "We needed to see how we respond." And respond they did.
Of our fight, the toughness that we showed, our ability to stay together. Our bench was really engaged in every timeout and in every huddle. We were all engaged. And
Tuesday, we couldn't seal the deal. We lost it at the free throw line. Tonight, we sealed the deal. Tonight, we took the lead late in the fourth after being down 75-71 with 3 minutes left. We take the lead and we don't look back. The Indiana Fever leave the ATL with an 81-76 victory, and this game was pretty. Man, this game was pretty ugly.
What a win for the Indiana Fever against the Atlanta Dream. Good teams win ugly. And that was what was most impressive to me about the Fever's performance against the Dream.
In Game 2, Indiana looked reborn. They trailed by 6 with 3 minutes left, then flipped the switch. A 10-1 run later, the Fever walked out of Atlanta with an 81-76 victory, and it wasn't pretty. Clark struggled. She went 0 for 5 from 3 and scored just 11 points. Her worst offensive outing in years. But the story wasn't Clark. It was the Fever's depth. Natasha Howard took over. After a rough game Tuesday, she came back with 26 points on 12 of 17 shooting and dominated the third quarter with 13 points alone. When Atlanta's defense keyed in on Clark and Aaliyah Boston, it was Howard who said, "I got this." Sophie Cunningham returned from injury and lit a spark off the bench. 9 points, 6 rebounds, and a clutch 3 to ignite an 11-0 run. Her presence was electric. She even drew a charge in the final seconds, proving her value went beyond the box score. Lexi Hull added 10 points and 4 assists off the bench, quietly turning into one of the WNBA's best-kept secrets. Indiana's second unit outscored Atlanta's bench by 16. That's not just progress, that's championship DNA. Clark's struggles revealed something more important. This team doesn't live and die by its star. They win as a unit. When one player stumbles, 3 more step up. Coach White knew it. Late in the game, with Indiana clinging to a 3-point lead, she turned to Lexi and Sophie. Press, make them uncomfortable, don't let them breathe. And they delivered. But let's talk about the moment that really set the tone. Clark versus Howard. The face-to-face clash between the 2022 number 1 pick and the 2024 number 1 pick. After a hard foul, Howard got in Clark's face. Clark didn't flinch, didn't step back. She leaned in and said, loud enough for cameras to catch, "I'm not scared of you."
One thing this Indiana Fever team has shown us they will do this year, it's not quit on the game. The Indiana Fever, down early, come back, take the lead. Down late, come back, take the lead. The only difference between tonight's outcome and Tuesday's outcome is a letter.
Yes, this stinks. We want to win this game. But, I think this is great for our team. A little adversity. How are we going to respond? How are we going to come in here tomorrow morning and watch the film and learn and get on the court and get better? And like I said, that's why this league is so great. You have a couple days and then you get right back to it. You find a way to respond. We have a chance to go there and play them, actually, so it's even better, I guess. We can, get a little redemption if we go down there and play well. They shot 32 free throws. It's a lot of free throws. It's going to be difficult to win a lot of games when we foul people that much and put them at the line that much. It's tough. They made 25 out of 32. We still went to the line 26 times, missed 10. So that's the game really right there. It obviously doesn't come down to that, but, it's just a little thing.
And then she hit her with a thumbs up. That moment wasn't just petty, it was powerful. It said, "We're not the team you pushed around last year." The crowd erupted. The game turned gritty. The Fever fed off that energy. Even veteran teammates like Natasha Howard responded to the edge Clark brought. She didn't shoot well. She didn't need to. She led. Meanwhile, Indiana's defense was built on chaos. They threw junk coverages at Griner, double teams from odd angles, rotations that made no sense to traditional schemes, and it worked. Griner, who had feasted in Game 1, looked lost. She fouled out with 3:38 left, visibly frustrated. Indiana held Atlanta to just 76 points and won the rebounding battle 41-37, just 2 days after getting owned on the glass. Dantas was key. Every time Griner checked in, Dantas followed. Physical, relentless, didn't back down. She wasn't just matching strength, she was setting the tone. This was the kind of response that turns heads around the league. And here's the kicker. The Fever shot just 3 of 15 from beyond the arc. Clark didn't hit a single 3. They still won. That's called evolution. That's how playoff teams are built. In the end, this was more than a regular season win. This was a message. The Fever aren't here to play cute basketball. They're here to win. Ugly if they have to. Dominant when they can. Coach White summed it up perfectly. We don't have to get ready, we stay ready. Every player impacted this game. So if you're fired up about the Fever, let us know in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single moment of this team's rise. And hey, if this is what they can do when Clark's off her game, just imagine what happens when she's on.